Thank you for your interest in RunJob software. This presentation is an introduction to RunJob software and overview. So RunJob software, it is a simple, affordable, yet powerful construction management software. It is web-based. So what does that mean? That means go on out to the web and you can access the software. You can use any browser you choose. We are currently recommending Google Chrome. Browsers are Google Chrome, Firefox, Explorer, whatever it is. Go ahead and go out to the web. Browsers change all the time, so you will find that some browsers sometimes work better than others. So here we go to Google Chrome, and you go ahead and you type in runjobsoftware.com. You go to client login here. You have a username which will have been assigned to you. Go ahead and enter that. And then here we will go ahead and enter our password. Logging in. This is the dashboard. Go ahead. For purposes today, we are trying to show you the software, so let's just click on RunJob Software. Now the first thing you'll do on day one, when you actually acquire this program, you'll have to enter all your contacts and everything, but for sake of this example, let me show you how to create a job real quick. So you can see there are three basic buttons: create a job, open an existing job, or just log off. I'm going to show you real quick how to create a job. It'll be important here in a minute. So you go into create a job, and again, you will have put all this data in. We're already ahead of you, so we've already got all these contacts in here, but go ahead and put your company in here, your ABC company in this instance. Then what you want to do on the project setup screen is you want to put who your project manager is. Well, Bill Martin, he's going to be your project manager. Your project engineer, not going to be Bill Martin, it's going to be Jane Simpson. Your submittal producer, she's going to do that for you too, Jane Simpson. Your RFI author, let's say that Sally Jane, she's the one who's going to be doing the RFIs. Your letter author, that's probably going to be Bill. He's the project manager, so let him write the letters. And your transmittal author, well, that's going to be Scott Smith. He's going to handle sending everything out on your project. You're going to put a job number in here. Let's just call it 445. Your project title, whatever that may be. Oh, I don't know. Convenience store. Anyway, after you populate this entire screen here, I guess also you should put in the client. So your client is going to be either the general contractor or the owner. We'll just put the general contractor. So this is all very important. You populate this entire screen with all of this data. It's important because as you generate these documents through RunJob, this is where the power lies within the software. All these contacts are in here, and on this screen you are telling the program who, for the most part, you're writing letters or documents to, and who they're from or whatever. This is how you're populating a lot of the background for the documents which you're about to create. I'm not going to save this. I'm just going to exit and not save because we have data created on other jobs which I would rather walk you through. It'll be easier because I've already populated everything for you. So after you've created the job, then we'll go into that job. So let's just say that you just created this job here, 1111. So in we go to your project. You are ABC General Contractors, and your job number is 1111. Here is the title of your job. Over here on the right-hand section of the band, of the orange band, are common links that within the program which you often find yourself going to as you navigate through all the data. Okay, here is the project home screen, and this is what you're going to see on every single one of your projects, whether you have 2 jobs, 5 jobs, or you have 500 jobs within RunJob. You can have as many as you like. This is the project home screen for each individual project. Contacts. Your contacts will be consistent regardless of what project you're on. Again, if you have 100 jobs that you maintain within RunJob, all 100 jobs will see all of these contacts. And you can come in here and manage all of your contacts by looking at them here. You can click on any of these buttons here and change the addresses of AEC Holding Company or City and County of Hawaii, whatever it may be. Let's go back to Project Home here. You can print a list of all your contacts. You can see here that you've got, looks like 5 pages of contacts here, and in bold is the name of the contact and where they're from, and then an address, and then people who belong to these agencies or suppliers or subcontractors. So just a really quick and easy way to just, if you're foreman, hey, can I have a list of all the contacts we have in the company? You bet. Go here, hit the print button, it comes up on screen, and just come down here and print it off to paper. Anyway, this is the submittal portion of the module here. What is a submittal? A submittal is pretty much a permanent material on the job which you want to get approval of before you install it. The most common one I always tell people about is just concrete. Everyone knows what concrete is. So if you go ahead and you click here on Manage, you can see here that we've input some submittal items here, and you can see the very first one I just called 3000 PSI concrete. So what you're doing here on this screen is entering permanent materials which, you know, I'd like to get the client to buy off or approve on this before I install it. So you go out to Concrete Supplier A and say, hey, Concrete Supplier A, can you send me over a mix design? I just want to get this approved by my client before I, pour that patio out back next Monday or whatever it is. So this allows you to track who is providing the submittal. Here it's TCC, which is the concrete company. You designated that in the contact module. So who's providing my submittal? Who's sending it to the client? Well, we are, ABC. It's being returned from our client. Our client in this instance is ZZC. And then we are going to send it back to the original provider. It all looks kind of complex, but what are we doing here? We're taking in a submittal. We're tracking who and when we got it from our supplier. We're tracking when we sent it to the owner or our client for approval. We're tracking when we got it back from our client. And then we're holding ourselves accountable on when we send it back to our supplier. This gives you a clean manifest, if you will, of tracking submittals through the process. And that's what this screen does. And there are other tutorials available you can look at which show you actually how to input all this data, but this is the gist of this portion of the module here. Those are submittals. RFIs stands for Request for Information. Pretty simple, very common document. Again, here's the Manage button here where you can go in here and you can click on this button here and you can add another RFI. Just add in the title, the date comes in here. Again, you already told RunJob who you are, who the author was of the RFIs, who you're going to send RFIs to, and who that person is. Here you can put in a drawing reference, a specification reference. You can put all this data in here, time or cost impact, your question. When the answer comes back, you put it in here. You just quickly tab through all these fields and put the information in here, and then afterwards you can actually print it. Again, I guess I could show you one here real quick. So let's just look at color of pylon. Click on this one here. I already populated this. So let's just go through here and let's save and print this RFI. So after you populate an RFI, you hit the print button and up it comes. The RFI title, who it's to, the question, yes, it's a time impact, no, it's not a cost impact. You print this out and then you sign it here, Bill Tyler Martin, and you send this piece of paper to your client and he emails it or mails it back or hands it back to you, or perhaps he just emails the answer back. But either way, you have a written trail of your question and their answer, and you can take action on their answer. If we go back to the project home here, just like with all of these portions of the module, it maintains a log of some sort. So here on the RFI portion of the submodule, go ahead and click on print log, and here you can see that question number 1, here was the title, type of dock decking, the date you requested it, was there a time impact, was there a cost impact, the date they responded, so it took 16 days for them to respond. Your question is here, who wrote the question is here, the answer confirmed, fir is preferred, that's the type of dock decking they wanted, and the answer was by Bob Knight. All this stuff is entered by you, but a lot of it is generated by just quick drop downs. The next portion of the module is the letter module. Very powerful module. What this does, which is so great, is the fact that it is very important as you write letters to make sure they are numbered sequentially. Here I just clicked on Manage and you can see that there are 2 different numbering systems which RunJob uses to help you with your letter tracking. There's a serial number, which is just what letter is this on the job. There are 6 total letters on this job. And over here, RunJob numbers this intelligently, the from party, your ABC, and you sent this letter to ZZC, and it was the first letter. So from ABC to ZZC, and it's the first one. You can see the next letter, the second letter on the job, was from you. They're all from you. ABC, and you sent it to RS, which I think is rebar supplier. So from ABC to RS, it was the first letter on the job. Here's the date, and here's the actual subject. And the way you populated this was you went in and you clicked on Create New, and then it asked you all this information up here. For the most part, came in automatically. You had to put in the actual subject, but this letter number was generated automatically by RunJob, as was this one. You put in the subject. This greeting or salutation, when you set up, rebar subcontractor, and you set up Johnny Connor as their main contact, you already told RunJob that you wanted all letters to Mr. Connor to be addressed Mr. Connor versus Johnny or versus some other setup. So all you pretty much have to do here in letter is you just have to fill in the subject. You have to physically write the letter, and then at the end the closing is automatically generated. If you want to send a copy to someone, you add that in here yourself. If you want to enclose something with the letter, you add that in here. After you put all this information in, you just hit save and print letter, and it comes up on screen and you just print it. The letter number prints out down here. This page numbering will change as if you have a letter which goes over a page, which normally they're not, it'll change that down there. But then you just come down here and hit print, and now you have a letter. So let's get out of here. Let's see, exit without saving. That's the letter module. The potential change order module is also very powerful. We really like this. It captures a lot of additional cost and time that a lot of contractors let get away from them. Here, just in the Manage PCO, there's another tutorial for this as well, but here we have created 6 potential change orders. There was a late start to the job. The screws somewhere on the project changed from steel to stainless steel 316. Here you can note a change, a potential change. You put here in this column the date you notified your client. You put here the date and amount of time or dollars you requested of your client. You wanted 5 days and $4,500. Your owner came back with an email on this date and says, well, I'll give you 3 days versus the 5 you requested here, and I'll give you $3,500 versus the $4,500 you requested here. You can track the different iterations of contractor requests versus owner responses, and eventually when you settle over here, you enter that data in here as well. Great module there. And clicked on Project Home. The last portion of the Project Home screen and the last aspect of the module is just transmittals. Very old school, if you will, way of tracking data, but a lot of times people just can't remember, did I send that certificate of insurance to my client? Well, yes, I did. It was on transmittal number 2. It was on June 10, and it was from me. It went to ZZC, and it was a certificate of insurance. And you can click here on this printer icon, and you can generate a simple transmittal log to show you that. Let's see. Let's go back to Project Home. This is basically RunJob in a quick 13 minutes, 14 minutes. We also offer additional tutorials which you can see more in depth about the different modules, but that was a quick, what looks like 14 minutes of introduction to RunJob. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to helping you in the future.